Hi, Harry. How are you?
Harry, talk a bit about sort of elevating the discourse on the American Idol panel.
You sure you want to ask me about that? You should ask Jen and Keith.
Well, it's a little bit of each. I mean, you're elevating it and lowering it. Definitely
I lowered a lot. Well, you got to, if you lower it, you ain't got nowhere to go but up. You know what I mean? I just, I like to respond very specifically to what I'm seeing, and sometimes I think my response should be a little bit of technique. You got to be careful that you don't overload. I used the word sharp, I think, last night, and somebody in my life that's close to me, a friend, said, "What does sharp mean?" We take it for granted, but I have to remember that it's like watching a football game, and the analyst is saying, "Well, that was a double wide screen bubble, whatever," and I don't know what that is. But when I see him draw it out with the little arrows, I understand. I have to make sure that I draw things out with the arrows.
And Harry, how do you find out what challenges have you faced now from going as a mentor to the pre-tape shows and now going live?
Well, you can't, as a mentor, you can get involved and have a dialogue with the contestants and really talk about specifics. You can't do that as a judge. They sing, you respond, case closed. So it's a slightly different take on it, but I like it because I can stay with them all season. Well, some people have no technique, and we call it all chops and no gravy. Like when somebody's very, very technically gifted and there's not a lot of emotion. Some people are very emotional with no technique. Some people have both. The people who have none wouldn't be here. But there's always different combinations of all of that, and that's what's exciting to me. It's sometimes people sing out of tune and it sounds great. Sometimes people sing out of tune and it doesn't sound good. It's just there's too many variables and too many specifics. But one thing I need to make really clear, and I'll say this over and over again, educating yourself is not going to take away from your passion, and it's not going to take away from your emotion. It just enhances you as an artist and as a human being. That's why we fight for music education, because of that. It's not going to make you less soulful. It's just going to make you a more complete musician.
Do you see anybody in the top 13 yet that you really feel can
win it?
Not only win it, but after it's done, really hit the charts?
Oh yeah.
Well?
I don't want to mention names now, only because I'm still learning them myself. But a bunch for sure.
Is there anybody that you would? Is there anybody that you think working with? Last year you did more of like a mentor. This time you didn't. Is there anybody that you see in the top 13 that you'd love to mentor?
All of them.
All of them.
I'd love to take them away on a cruise.
Was there any?
Music all the time.
I agree. I mean, being kind of strict, but also being nice enough that they take from it and not run and cry.
I can't help it if they run and cry. I'm going to be honest, every single time. They know that I think they're talented. That's why they're there. If they cry about it, what am I supposed to do about that? All I can do, I think the nicest thing I could do is be really specific and honest with them. The meanest thing I could do would not be to tell them what I think. Why wouldn't I give them information to help them grow? Is it painful? Is it embarrassing? Maybe. But that's what they signed up for. They signed up to be judged.
Guys, thank
the wild cards, can you talk a little bit about how you decided to keep these three?
It was based on the performances tonight. It really was based on the performances tonight. I feel bad for Bria and but I don't feel bad for her. She's 16. She has a huge life ahead of her, so I'm okay with that. And it's based on a lot of stuff. It's just a lot of stuff. We saw hours and hours and hours and hours of footage of them, so we felt like we made good decisions. And tonight was sort of the tipping point,
Guys,